Hello, everyone. By now, you have shared your portfolio with me, and you're now ready to start uh, working with your portfolio. And that's what I'm going to show in this demonstration is how you can best utilize your portfolio. Your portfolio you can think of as a destination site. In other words, the majority of the work that you've done, the major work that you've done, you'll be able to store here, plus other information about your program and your field work. So it's in different sections that you will see on the side here. From the introduction, where the default page is, there is a guide to critical thinking. You have the four goals that you will be uploading documents to, depending upon how you've selected them, and then writing a little bit about them. You'll have documents from your fieldwork experience and some summary statements, and then finally a link to your Plaid, your PLA portfolio. So let's get started with the introduction page, the introduction to your portfolio program. The way all of these sections work is in order to modify your identifying information, you'll need to go in and edit that particular section. So you simply click the edit button. You're now in the section, so you'll simply type your first name. There's placeholders here for all the information usually, and it's best to go ahead and just select that and delete those. It's best to delete those and just type in your name. Same thing for the semester and the year. Your current employer. And then finally your title. So that's my information that I would type in. So you type in that pertinent information, getting rid of the underscored placeholders, and then you simply click Save and Finish. So that's the first part of putting in your identifying information. From here, you will simply upload your resume. So I'm going to show you how to upload a file now. You go into the edit mode. You'll go to the file attachments. You will click upload new file. You will browse from your computer, so choose file. You will find your resume in this case. Select it and click choose, or you could double click it. The gray bar shows that it's uploading. And finally, when it's complete, and actually I've got it in there twice because I've already tried uploading it once. So the next step then is simply to click Save and Finish. So this also shows that you can upload multiple documents to the same section, and you'll be doing this later. So the same holds true for your application. So you would upload your application that's been approved by me. The competency self-assessment, that's the spreadsheet. There again, you'd go through the same procedure. This particular one is called your product matrix. Here's where you're going to list your 10 best products from all of the courses that you've worked on. Most of the time they're going to be your hats, which are projects, but not necessarily. So in this case, I'm going to show you how to just put in a couple of them to show you how this is going to work, because you're actually going to list your products here, and then you're going to categorize those products within these standards. So let's go into and edit this section called the product matrix. I'm going to enlarge the window just a little bit here. And the instructions say that, as an example, ELFH 341 managing projects created a personal project that put together a plan for rebuilding a classic car. Well, all you have to do here is simply type in ELFH 341 managing projects in the workplace. And that's all you really have to do right now, because that is actually going to be a listing of just the products. So you might have another course, ELFH maybe 311, and that's the needs assessment class. So you will list those 10 products right here. Now it's important to remember what the number that is associated. In other words, number 1 is your 341, number 2 is your 311, and so forth. Because what you're going to do now is show in this matrix itself where those products lie. In other words, when you think of your personal project, managing projects in the workplace, you would select that number from this row here. One of the things that in the managing projects is you do analyze needs and propose solutions. So because that is the first one listed, number 1 here, you simply place an X in this standards category. The analyzed performance is a grouping of standards. The actual standard is listed underneath the category of the standards. And let's say the next one that we want to put in is the needs assessment. So you would scroll down, and where does needs assessment go? Probably a needs assessment could be planning and implementing assignments, maybe. So you would put an X there. And it could be delivering training, because a needs assessment is used there. So you can also put an X there. So it actually can be used twice. And you can use it in other categories of standards also. So you're going to end up with 10 of these standards, with 10 numbers. So you will go down and you will select the actual standard that project relates to according to its number that's in the columns across. So let's say for number 10, you took the ELFH 575, and that's the instructional strategies. You would go down and you would select where that would be most used. Well, it would definitely be designing learning. So you would put that X in number 10. And maybe delivering training, you could put it there. So you can have these files or these projects listed according to the standards that they relate best to. So that's how the performance product list goes. So you'll notice there are 4 categories of standards: analyze performance, develop intervention, implement, evaluate change, and manage and lead. So I'm actually not going to save this. I'm going to cancel it, because now I'm going to explain how these relate to the rest of some of the other sections of the portfolio. So if you remember the one category, goal 1, which is analyze performance. So for each of the products that you listed in that category called analyze performance, you're going to write a little bit about that in this section. And then you're going to upload the actual file from that in this section. In this case, we talked about ELFH 341, managing projects in the workplace. You have already described that in your application, so you can use that same information and simply paste it right here. And if it's not a detailed description, you would probably want to add more to it. So this is where you're going to explain in depth what you did for each one of those projects. So you would describe it in a few statements here, what you did in managing projects in the workplace. You would type in the other projects or the other products from your other courses that were in the goal analyze performance, and you would type in their descriptions also. So depending upon how many products you related to the analyze performance category, these are the ones that you would describe in depth. So there again, I'm not going to save that. So now you should have a number of the goal 1 analyze performance products described here. based on the files that categorized by these standards in the Analyze Performance stage. So however many X's you have here, those are the files that you're going to describe in the Analyze Performance section. And then the next step then is to edit the artifacts section. And now here you're simply going to attach each one of those files to this section. So you could have 2, 3, 4, 5 different files that you would upload to this section. And you would go through the same procedure as file attachment. Upload new file, choose the file. So it's best to probably go ahead and know exactly where those files are located, select them and click choose. I'm going to cancel this for now. Go back to the section editor and cancel. So in other words, you're going to have in this section, you're going to write about each one of the files or the products associated with the standards that you place the X in the product matrix, and then you're going to actually upload the actual file to that artifact section. All the rest of the goals work exactly the same way. So there's the develop intervention, implement and evaluate change. So you're going to end up referring to and uploading the files from your performance products list. Those 10 files are going to be described and uploaded in these different sections. And it's okay to use them multiple times. And obviously you would still have to upload them if you mentioned it in this particular goal. Let's go to the fieldwork experience section now. In this section, this is where you're going to type in the name of your fieldwork, the location of your fieldwork, and the number of semester credit hours. But you're also going to upload the actual products you produced for your fieldwork. So in other words, if you've had that PowerPoint training, or you've had the needs assessment, or you've had a training manual, you're going to have multiple files associated with what you have left with your organization. You're going to actually upload those products right here. So you could have, 4, 5, 6 or so files associated with your fieldwork. Well, you'll upload all of those files right here. There again, this is the contract. So your fieldwork supervisor here. You would put my name here, and then you would simply upload the contract to this section. Same thing, similar for the activity log. How many hours did you complete? Let's say you enrolled for 2 credit hours, which you would put here. You would have the actual hours. Let me go through that and edit that section. So let's say the number of hours that I enrolled was for 2 credit hours. The number of hours that I actually worked that I documented, let's say, was 55.5. So that activity log actually calculates and computes the running total of all of your hours as you input those. So you're going to upload the activity log same way, so therefore you would go through your file attachment process and upload the file. So I'm going to cancel that. You're going to have 2 evaluations, one at midterm and one at the final. You upload those 2 files here. You're going to have a hallmark assessment, which is called the Culminating Undergraduate Experience Report. That's going to be a cold reflection paper. And then you're going to have a summary statement section. So let me go ahead and click into the edit, because there's 3 paragraphs, if you will. It's very relatively short. This first one, the learning in the major, here's where you're going to select a course or outcome from your major that you most enjoyed, found most useful, or was most relevant to your personal or work life. Same thing for your general education, any minor or elective classes. You're going to write briefly about that. And finally, the summary of your overall learning in the program. You're going to write in general terms about the degree program as a whole and how it has influenced you. So those are the summary statements. You remember your Plaid portfolio from 300? You're actually going to set a link to it here. So you actually will go into the edit mode. I've actually got a link selected there, but I'm going to go ahead and put another link just to show you how to do it. And this is actually going to link to your portfolio that you put together for ELFH 300. So one thing you want to do is make sure that you have your Plaid opened, because what we're going to do is come up here, select the URL. I'm going to do a Control-C or Command-C to copy it to the clipboard. Go back to my portfolio section for the PLA. This is going to be a little different than uploading. You're going to come over here and select Link. Paste in the URL with Control-V, or if you're on a Mac, Command-V, and click OK. And now you'll click Save and Finish. So I've actually got two links there. I'm going to go back to the PLA Plaid portfolio, and I'm going to close it. Okay, so I went back to our portfolio now. One other thing that I want to show you, let's go back to the introduction. Scroll down to the bottom. You remember your KSA inventory? You simply upload it as a file here. And your work autobiography narrative, you upload that here. So those are two different file uploads, and they will go in your introduction. So what you're going to end up with your portfolio is a culmination of everything that you have done in the program. The majority of the files are the majority of your major projects that you've worked on. So that's about it on how to work with your portfolio. There again, you've got some introductory stuff here. You've got the different goals where you write about your products and you actually upload the products. You've got the section on the fieldwork experience that has your different forms that you filled out along with your products, your summary statements, and then finally your PLA portfolio link itself. So that's all I have for now.